Well, good morning from Alderman Farms. I'm so excited, and Tommy's really excited that I'm making my granola cereal. We just love it, and it's been a while since we've had it. I've got all of my ingredients ready. Don't they look amazing? So let's get started with this. All right, first I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to check it. Make sure I don't have any little pots hiding in there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my liquid ingredients. And I've played with this recipe a lot. And I use cane syrup because that's what we have a lot of here. But this is all I had. I only had 3/4 of a cup. And it takes a whole cup. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use maple syrup. And I'm going to fill it up to being a cup. Get that? And so if maple syrup is plentiful in your area, you could just use maple syrup. I really like the flavor of the cane syrup in it. And you could use sorghum, but you could, any kind of syrups like that you could use. So I'm going to get that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner on low. The only reason you're heating this up is just to make everything blend together. Let's see. So that was a cup of cane syrup, and you're going to have 1/4 of a cup of water. I've played with this recipe a lot, trying to make it as healthy as possible. I used to put sugar in it, and I quit putting sugar. I tried doing it without oil, but it doesn't do the same. So I'm going to use avocado oil, though. It's a very healthy oil. And let's see. You put 1/4 of a cup of avocado oil. And that was 1/4 of a cup of water too. I believe I said that. I'm going to put my oil in. So we're going to do liquid ingredients here. We're going to do our dry ingredients in the pan. All right, there's that. Oh, okay, we're going to have 1/2 cup of honey. Oh, one day I'm going to have my own honey. Maybe by next year I'll have my own honey. But for right now, this is what I'm using. And if you really like a strong honey flavor, you could just do all this with honey. But I really like the cane syrup taste to it. My hands are sticky. I'm going to go rinse them off. Okay, so that was water, oil, cane syrup, honey. All right, now we're just going to heat this up. Just where it will blend together, of course, where the oil, get it mixed in and everything. While that is going, I'm going to mix up my dry ingredients. My dry ingredients are going to be 7 cups of oats, and these are whole oats. And then 4 cups of rice puffs, puffed rice. I really like this. I really like the puffed rice. Now, I have had a hard time finding this in the past. I got these from Azure Standard, but if you don't have rice puffs, or you could use wheat puffs too, but I try and keep it gluten-free if possible, you can just use more oats in it. I have done just oats. All right, now let's see. I want to make sure I do it right. Then I'm going to add my nuts. Now I used to not add any nuts. And then I started adding almonds, and now look at this. I've got 1/2 cup of almonds, 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds, 1/2 cup or 1/4 to 1/2 cup of sunflower seeds, 1/2 cup of pecans. I chopped them, and my walnuts, I kind of pulverized them, which I kind of don't mind. I really don't care for walnuts too much, but anyway, they're very good for you. So I'm trying to make this a very, very healthy granola. So I'm just going to add all those in. I'm also going to add a little bit of chia seeds. I'm going to add, let's see, I'm just going to add like 2 tablespoons of that. So that'll be good for us. And then you can add 2 to 4 tablespoons of flax. Flax is really good for you. I guess you could add the seeds, but I have the meal, so I'm going to go ahead and be generous and put 4 tablespoons of flax. Of course, if you have an issue with any of these things or don't like one thing or another, omit it. It's no big deal. The main thing, you want to keep it with about 11 cups of your main ingredients, your oats and your rice puffs and all. So let's see. Oats, rice puffs, nuts, flax. Oh, cinnamon. Yes, cinnamon makes it very delicious. Now, of course, if you don't like cinnamon, don't add cinnamon. But I really like cinnamon. So we're going to add 4 tablespoons of cinnamon. And you know, if you like other different spices, oh, you know what I just thought about? You could put ginger in this, because ginger is good for you. But I'm just going to stick with my cinnamon today. I think that was 4. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Well, and I don't have any salt there. Where is some salt at, I wonder? I'll be right back. All right, I found some salt. And I'm just going to do this. That's about 1/4 of a teaspoon. You can see this is not rocket science. Do it to your taste. All right, so I got my oats, my rice puffs, my almonds, my nuts, flax, cinnamon, salt, and my other nuts. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to mix all this good stuff together in the pan. Mix it around real good. And I love this giant pan. My father-in-law actually made this pan when he was working at Exxon years ago. And I'm the only one in the family that really bakes. So they gave it to me. So you don't have to have this big of a pan, but it does make it easier to, where you can spread it out, it'll brown a little quicker. So anyway, now I have my liquid is warm and it's mixed up. I'm going to move it off the fire. And I'm going to add my vanilla. Let's see, how much vanilla do I put? 1.5 tablespoons. So I'm going to add that to my liquid. Like that, and mix it up. And then you just are going to pour this over. Just move it around in it. And like I said, I've played with this recipe for years till I've got it to where I really like it. This is my first time adding a little maple syrup to it. So it may take a little longer. It's not as thick as the cane syrup. And then you're just going to mix this up and try and get everything coated really good. And I'm going to tell you this, I added a lot more nuts than I typically do. So I hope I have enough liquid to go around. If not, I could always add a little bit more. I should have cut back on my oats and my rice puffs, but I didn't do it. And I think it will be fine. This cereal is not a super sweet cereal. So if you wanted it sweeter, you could add more of your liquid ingredients, or you could actually add brown sugar or whatever. I'm just trying to stay away from sugar right now. And also, Tommy would like it a little bit sweeter. Sometimes when he's really having a sweet tooth, what he'll do is just add some honey to it as he's eating it. Also, what I was going to say too, a lot of people, once they get this mixed up really good, they eat it like this and not bake it. But I'm going to bake. I like mine baked and it crunches up. And it makes for a good cereal in the morning, a breakfast cereal. But it also is great put on yogurt. And I really like it on yogurt. And I am gonna add fruit, but you add the fruit. It's already dehydrated. So I'm gonna add the fruit like the last 5 minutes. This does take quite a bit of stirring to get it all coated. But that's where your sweetness is gonna come from, is this coating. So you want to get it good and coated. And actually, I have mixed it with my hands. It would probably go a little quicker mixing it with your hands. All right, now that looks good and coated. And I'm going to put this in my oven. I preheated it to 300. Oh, it's not quite preheated. Ah, there it goes right there. It's preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm going to bake this for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to stir it around real good. And then I'll do another 10 minutes. And once it starts kind of browning, I'll start checking it every 5 minutes and stirring it. So and it's very simple. Of course, you have to have time to dedicate to being able to stir it and be around, but it's a real simple cereal and it's delicious. Alrighty, so into the oven it goes. Alright, our first 10 minutes is up and it is smelling so good already. And I can see that it's already starting to brown some. So what I do is I just rake my sides in to the middle. It's my oven. I don't usually turn my timer off. I'll just add 10 minutes to it. So I'll just kind of rake it in to the middle and then kind of push it back out to try and get the edges to the middle and the middle to the outside. So however you want to do it. And then spread it back out again and then do it for another 10 minutes. All right, now this is my second time to remove it from the oven. And it's the same old, same old. I'm just gonna mix it around. What you're looking for is for it to dry out and become crunchy. I guess honestly you could get it to whatever point you like it, but I like it to be pretty dry. I don't store it in the refrigerator or anything. I leave it on the shelf, so I feel like it needs to be pretty dry for me to do that. Now I will just put it back in the oven for 5 minutes and take it out and stir again. I'm not going to keep showing you that because it's pretty boring just to stir it, but I'll do that for 2 or 3 more times and then I will turn the camera back on. Okay, I've cooked it a total of 30 minutes. So far, I did 2 5 minutes and 2 10 minutes. And it's looking nice and brown to me. And I'm going to show you how I test it. Hopefully it won't take too long for the video. But I stir it up and it looks evenly brown. And what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit and I just play hully-gully in my hand and try and cool it down just a little bit. And then I'll go on, and here's a piece of the rice right there. Let's see. That still's a little bit soft. I think I'm going to go 5 more minutes. And so that's what I do is I kind of test the crunchiness, but you've got to not dry it. You've got to cool it before you can tell how crunchy it is, because it stays kind of soft when it's warm. So I think another 5 minutes and it'll be just right. All right, here's my final product. It's still very hot. Just took it out the oven and it is ready. What I'll do, I'm going to let this cool. You have to let it cool completely before you store it. But now is the time that I like to add my fruit. It is warm still from the oven, but I just kind of like to add it in when it's warm. I don't bake the fruit, but I do add it when it's warm. This gives you a burst of sweetness. This is raisins, cranberries, apricots, and mango. Oh, but you know what I just remembered? I have some dehydrated pineapple that I actually made. I picked up this stuff from Azure Standard. So I'm just going to dump that in and just mix it in real good. And then I will let this cool. And as it's cooling, I'll come by every once in a while and give it a stir. So, you know, this fruit and all is flavorful and it is sweet because it's dehydrated. And I put about 1/2 cup of each fruit in here, or right at 1/4 to 1/2, just depending on your taste and how much of it you want. But you know, you can add whatever fruit you would like to add to it. And so I'll just give this a stir every once in a while. I'll put it like on a cookie sheet, you know, where it'll be raised up off the counter. And I'll let it cool, and then I'll put it in a jar. Well, what do you think about my granola? Leave it down in the comments. Tell me what you would do differently, what you would add. Just give me some more ideas. I've had fun with this granola. Like I said, it has grown and evolved through the years of, you know, different things that I'm doing, different things I have on hand. So, but this is the recipe I've ended up with after about 15, 20 years of playing with it. So just tell me what you do different. And if you don't mind, if you haven't, subscribe. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot. Hope you have a great day. It's okay to eat cereal for lunch. It's good for you. Really good for you.